The Great Pancake Panic. Once upon a time in the sleepy little town of Civil, there was a bakery known as Fluffiest Flapjack Factory. It was the most famous bakery in the entire world, or at least in Civil, which was pretty much the same thing. Fluffy the baker was a jolly, round man who had a very special gift. He could make pancakes that were so fluffy, they almost floated off the plate. Now one fine morning, disaster struck. Fluffy woke up with a big, confused frown. His kitchen was in total chaos. The flour had disappeared. The sugar had disappeared. The eggs gone, but worst of all, the pancake batter was nowhere to be found. Oh no! Fluffy cried, pacing around his kitchen in a panic. How can I make pancakes without pancake batter? But then he had an idea, a ridiculous idea. But an idea nonetheless. Why not make pancakes with something else? Fluffy thought. What's the worst that could happen? So Fluffy gathered up all the strange ingredients he could find around the house and set to work. First, he grabbed a carton of orange juice. This will give it a zesty twist, he declared, pouring it into the mixing bowl. Next, he grabbed a jar of pickles. Who doesn't love a little crunch? He said, tossing them in. Then he grabbed a banana. Bananas are practically pancake ingredients, right? He chuckled as he mashed it up and added it to the mix. Finally, Fluffy went to his secret stash of chocolate chips and threw in a handful. Can't go wrong with chocolate. After mixing everything together, Fluffy poured the batter onto the griddle, which immediately started bubbling and fizzing. Well, this is going to be interesting, Fluffy said with a grin. Meanwhile, the town of Civil had heard about Fluffy's special pancake day, and soon a crowd gathered outside his bakery. The townsfolk were buzzing with excitement. I heard Fluffy's making pancakes like never before, said a tall man wearing a sombrero. I heard they are extra fluffy, said a lady with a big red bow in her hair. Fluffy opened the door and announced, "Step right up, everyone. Come taste my new experimental pancakes." The first customer, Mrs. Bubbles, a very serious lady, took a bite of the pancake. Her eyes widened and she gasped. "These are incredible," she shouted. The next person, Mr. Jigglebottom, a very wiggly man, grabbed a pancake, took a bite, and immediately started bouncing up and down like a pogo stick. These pancakes have bounce. I love it soon. Everyone in town started eating Fluffiest weird pancakes. The more they ate, the weirder they got. Some people turned purple and started singing opera. Others grew extra feet and began tap dancing. A few even started floating into the air like balloons. Fluffy couldn't stop laughing. Maybe I should have used less pickle juice, or more chocolate. By the end of the day, Salivary was a madhouse of dancing, singing, and bouncing townsfolk. Everyone had had a pancake or 2 or 10, and nobody seemed to mind the weird mix of flavors. It was the event of the year. Fluffy smiled as he waved to the crowd. Well, I guess every pancake is a little bit of an experiment. The next morning, Fluffy woke up, stretched, and decided to go back to making regular pancakes. But as he cracked open an egg, he couldn't help but grin. Maybe just a little pickle juice wouldn't hurt. And so the legend of Fluffiest Great Pancake Panic lived on, a story told for generations, about the day the pancakes made everyone bounce, sing, and float all at once. The end.